Lieutenant Governor Bill Bowling, thank you for that great leadership. And my friend Rob Rittman, thank you for that great introduction. And to my friends here in Fredericksburg, thank you for what you're about to do. You're about to elect Mitt Romney, the next president of the United States of America. Look at you all. This is just fantastic. This is a beautiful area, and I have spent some great memories here. Not only is Fredericksburg a place of great American history, you got some great woods and some great streams here. I've been out on the Rapidan a number of times with my fishing pole. I've been out in your woods with my bow, my muzzleloader, and my rifle. We have got great woods here. I carry my phone with blaze orange and camouflage with me. Because this reminds me that in a little over a month, I get to take my daughter into the woods, and we get to go deer hunting after we will have elected Mitt Romney, the next president of the United States. That's freedom. Friends, we have a very big choice to make. This is no ordinary election. This is not just another every 4 years election where we're going to elect a president for one more term. This is the kind of election that we will look back upon as a moment where America picked a very clear path and a very clear choice. I see these young kids on their parents' shoulders. I see these gentlemen here who are, I think, World War II veterans. Thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for what you've done for us. Your generation, all these generations, thank you, sir. It doesn't matter which generation you are coming from. This is the most important election in your generation. We have a very clear choice of two futures. We can either stay on the path that we are on, a nation in debt, a nation in doubt, a nation with more despair, or we can go back and reclaim those founding principles, many of which came out of Virginia, and get this country back on the right track. That's what we're going to do. Just look at where we are, and all you have to do is just look at where we are to know we don't want to do more of that. We can't handle 4 more years like the last 4 years. We can't live with the fact that 23 million Americans are struggling for work. We can't accept as a new normal 15% of our fellow citizens living in poverty. We can't take this anemic economic growth and take a look at that debt clock over there. Look at this little guy on his dad's shoulders and look at what he is getting. That debt is moving up $2 million a minute. President Obama came into office knowing this was the case, knowing that we are on the path just like Europe is. And what did he do? He made it worse. You see, the Obama economic agenda failed, not because it was stopped. It failed because it passed. Let's not forget that he came in with one-party rule. Let's not forget that he got to do what he wanted to do. And here we are, stuck with the results. When we go home this evening, we'll go turn on our TV, and we will watch a debate. And we will see the choice. Put aside the hundreds of millions of dollars of distortion on TV, the clutter. You see, the president can't run on his record. He can't run on his broken promises. And so as a result, hope and change has become attack, defame, and blame. anger, and frustration. He's going to try to divide this country. He's going to try to distract this country. He's going to keep trying to distort Mitt Romney's record in order to try and win this election by default, and we won't fall for it, will we? This debt clock is going too fast in the wrong direction. We have to tackle this country's problems before they tackle us. We are not going to blame 4 more years. We're not going to blame other people for these problems. Mitt Romney and I are going to run at these problems to solve these problems so that our children can have the future they deserve. We're going to address these tough issues. Thank you. President Obama, he gave us 4 budgets with $1 trillion deficits each and every time. The latest budget, he said, let's borrow another $9 trillion. He added more debt than any prior president. In fact, he added nearly more debt than all prior presidents. He crammed Obamacare through law. And look at all those broken promises. Remember when he said, if you like the health care plan, you can keep it. You remember that one? Try telling that to as many as 20 million people who might lose the insurance they have. Or the 7.4 million seniors who Medicare says will lose the plans they chose. Remember when he said, if you're in the middle class, there will be no tax increases. Of the 21 tax increases in Obamacare, a dozen of them hit middle-class taxpayers. Remember when he said he'd do healthcare negotiations on C-SPAN? It was a backroom deal on Christmas Eve in Harry Reid's office, and he jammed it through with one-party rule. Remember when he said that energy prices would go down? Remember when he said he would cut the deficit in half? Remember when he said he would bring people together to solve the country's biggest problems? String after string of broken promises. Well, you know what? 4 years into this, we know we can't afford 4 more years. We need a leader. And that's what we're going to see tonight. We're going to see a leader offering the country real solutions, showing Americans how we get the country back on track, showing us what we believe in, what we're made of, and how we're going to fix this country's problems. That's what Mitt Romney's going to show you. That's who we are. We don't need another round of stimulus spending. We don't need more government takeover. We don't need the EPA putting our coal workers out of work. We don't need a new national energy tax making our energy more expensive and making us more dependent on foreign oil. And we don't need this massive tax increase on small businesses. We need jobs, we need growth, we need liberty, we need freedom, we need the government to work for us and not the other way around. And because this is such a serious moment, and because this is such a big choice, it is not simply enough for us to criticize the failed leadership and the broken promises of President Obama. We owe you, our fellow citizens, real solutions, real reforms to get the American dream back on track, real ideas to get people back to work, real ideas to get workers good job security so families can get ahead and they can pursue their American dream, and to pay off this debt so our children can have that future. Jana and I tell our 3 kids, they're 7, 9, and 10, in this country, if you work hard, if you play by the rules, you can get ahead and you can do what you want with your life in this country. That's freedom. That's what we do in America. Our solutions are aimed at restoring that promise. We've got so much energy in this country. Let's use that energy in this country and put people back to work and lower our prices to create jobs. We have a lot of people who are in between jobs. We have a lot of people who all they can get is a temporary job. We need to be able to get workers the skills they need so they can get the jobs they want so they can provide for their families. That is so critical in this kind of an economy. We need to get this debt under control. We need to make sure that we can grow and make more things in America and sell them overseas because that creates good jobs here at home. So trade that works for America is something that we have to make sure we put together and we get going so that we don't fall behind the world economy. And we need to stop these big tax increases that are on the horizon. Look, drive right here in Fredericksburg, you have industrial parks. Drive around any city in America and you'll see an industrial park. You'll see a business with 50 employees, 15 employees, 200 employees. We were just in Lynchburg with a great business that a dad started and his son runs and 50 employees own part of it. ACS, 189 employees. Good jobs, people with great futures. That's the engine of economic growth in this country. It is small businesses that create the jobs, that give us our prosperity, that get this economy growing, that most people get their jobs from. We need to champion those small businesses. We need to make sure that we don't tax them so much more than our foreign competitors are taxing theirs. And when we have a president come to Roanoke and suggest that if you are one of these men and women who has a small business, or if you work for one of these small businesses, that you didn't build that, it just shows you how out of touch he is. It shows you the mindset that we have in the White House, which explains why our economy is not growing. It shows you why we're not creating the kinds of jobs and prosperity that we know we can create. You see, we, the people, are not the problem. President Obama and his failed policies are the problem. We're not going to create jobs. If we get the right policies in place, if we get the right leadership, we can create jobs. Sometimes I wonder, every now and then, he'll say something that makes you see what he really thinks. Remember back in Ohio, that guy named Joe the plumber? When he said he wants to spread the wealth around? It's kind of like the Roanoke comment. It's this belief that the economy is some fixed pie. That it's the government's job to redistribute the slices of the pie, and they decide who and how gets it. It's this belief that big government and big business join in a common cause to rig the rules for each other, while the worker and the small business person stands on the outside looking in. It's as if he's speaking to people that we're stuck in some station in life or fixed in some class. I gotta tell you, growing up in Janesville, Wisconsin, when I was washing dishes or mowing lawns or waiting tables or painting houses, it never once occurred to me that I was stuck in some station in life or fixed in some class. I was on my version of pursuing my American dream. This is what everybody in this country does. We find our American dream and we define freedom for ourselves. That's what we do. We clear the barriers away from people so that they can succeed, so that they can achieve. That's the idea of opportunity, of upward mobility, of freedom. It doesn't matter who you are, or where you come from, or how or where you were born. In this country, you can make the most of your lives because we have liberty and freedom and free enterprise and self-determination. Those are the principles that built this country. Those are the principles that when we apply them, we create jobs and prosperity, and we save this country and get it back on the right track. That's what makes us great. And as Rob Whitman said, And as I see these men with their hats, that shows me that they're veterans. They're the ones who preserved our freedom. They're the ones who gave us this ability to be here together today in peace and freedom. The number one responsibility of our federal government is for the national defense of our nation. And the only spending cuts the president seems eager to embrace are those that come at the expense of our fighting men and women. When Mitt Romney is president, we will not allow these devastating defense cuts to take place because we believe in peace through strength. We believe that our military must be the unquestioned superpower of the world, and we will get behind our men and women in our military. That keeps jobs in Virginia, and that keeps us safe here in America. To do all of this, to make sure that we are offering you this clear choice, we need to elect a leader to do this. If there's one thing that you will see about Mitt Romney that you saw in his first debate, that you will see tonight, this man is a decisive leader. He turned around the Olympics. He turned around his state. He balanced the budget without raising taxes, working with Democrats. The man helped create tens of thousands of jobs as, yes, a successful businessman, and being a successful businessman, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's great to be successful in business. We champion that. We have a jobs crisis. Wouldn't it be nice to have a job creator in the White House? I want to thank you for parking out on the lawn, for waiting in line, for taking the time. I know you've been here for a long time. Thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for bringing your parents. Thank you for bringing your children. Virginia, you know how important you are. Virginians understand this. You know that you have a unique opportunity and a serious responsibility. Because Virginia and a handful of other states will determine the future of our nation, not for 4 years, but for a generation. And of all the people who understand what this country stands for, who realize that America is more than a nation with a flag, that it is a country with an idea. It's actually the only country founded on an idea. That idea came out of Virginia. It's timeless. Thomas Jefferson wrote it. It is very simple, and we can never lose sight of it, and we can never forget to teach our children this. Our rights come from nature and nature's God, not from government. We the people. We are the nucleus of our society and our economy. Let's never forget that. This is the kind of leadership that Mitt Romney and I are offering. Our commitment is that we will not duck these tough issues. We will take on that debt clock. We will get this economy growing. We will take responsibility. We won't blame others. We will lead, and we will not try to replace those timeless, foundational, founding principles. We will reapply those founding principles. We can do this. This is our moment. Look. Take it from the British. Winston Churchill once said that the Americans can be counted upon to do the right thing, but only after they've exhausted all the other possibilities. We are at this inflection point. This is the kind of moment that we're going to look back upon as when we got our country back on the right track. Every generation is tested. Every generation has to solve its problems so that its children and grandchildren are better off. This is our time. This is our moment. And Virginia, And Virginians, you can make it happen. Let's get this done, everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming out. Let's go do it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Ecstasy.